Go. All right.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Arm Wrestling Showcase number 22. We all know our host, Kane Fontecchio with Alpha Empire Arm Wrestling, and myself, Josh Edwards with Nowhere to Run. Today, we're going to talk about some of the different things that happened over the past weekend, the Kraken tournament, and some of the things that we have coming up in our great sport of arm wrestling. Kane, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. How are you?
Good. It was good to see you this last weekend.
Absolutely. And it's kind of a weird night that we're on. It's Wednesday, and that's my fault. I had to work into the evening last night and couldn't really get on yesterday. But yeah, looking forward to talking about some stuff. This is just kind of spur of the moment, last minute. A few minutes ago, literally, I just sent the link to a few different people. We'll see if we get anybody dropping in. So yeah, the last thing that happened was the Kraken. So right. Yeah, you were there. I was there. What'd you think of the event?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool. Definitely had the familiar grinder gym feel. I've been to several of those tournaments so far, and yeah, I liked it. It's smooth. They had some good super matches going on. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Good refs there. Alex Delatorre, Paul was in there repping a little bit. Vosgen, everybody, Crispin helping out. So yeah, it was a nice time. They ran the classes really smoothly, I thought. The way they did the super matches first, and then jumped right into the amateur classes, and they had two tables kind of running different weight classes at the same time. So that was really nice. Yeah, cool vibe overall. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And we got Paul Stevens in the chat saying Paul the loser is watching, LOL. Yeah, he's Paul. I'm going to send you the link right now if you want to pop in here. See. And if there was anybody that stood out the most for you at that event, be it super matches or tournament, who was that for you? I want to see if we're thinking of the same person.
Well, I mean, so I think there was more than one, right? So at least in my opinion, one of the big ones, and I asked you about him earlier, as a matter of fact. But yes, for me, one of the big ones, and probably the most impressive to me, was Christian Zepeda from the Compound team.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he's definitely he just continues to level up, and I really, and it's funny that we're both kind of thinking about that same thing, because earlier in the day I randomly was just watching some little videos and stuff, and then looking at the Facebook feed and seeing Christian's one of his posts, and rewatching that Ricky match, right, with Christian. It's so cool to me and impressive how he's chose, I don't want to say to be different, but like to have his zone. Like he likes that press, he likes his move, and I think it's impressive and it's cool, and he's definitely leveled up a lot. Every time I see him, he's like, beating people that you're like, oh wow, I didn't think he was going to do that. And so yeah, super impressed, man. Super impressed. Yeah, Christian's a beast for sure.
Definitely. Yeah, his press is insane. It really is. He's got it perfected. It's great on both hands. Left hand is obviously a little better, but he's quick to the move. He's smart with it, and it's a hard one to dig out of. But yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. So he made weight for the 150-pound category, which was a cool thing for this event. That was another thing that stood out for me, was the weight classes. Is we typically, the lowest weight class in California for the pro division is 165 pounds. And yeah, Dave ran a 150 and below weight class for the open class. and there was a few entries for it, and I was really glad that there was, because that shows that there is a demand for it. And especially at the furthest south tournament that you can have, because of course there's going to be some people from the north and certain areas that aren't going to make it for that. We still had a few people show up, and they were talented, very skinny, small beasts, man. They were amazing. But yeah, Christian gold left and right in the 150. He also competed in the 165. And that was the only weird one, was him and I were the only ones in the 165 category, I believe, both arms. I didn't expect that. Usually the 165 is the most stacked class in even the local tournaments. But yeah, he got gold, both arms for that. He beat me. And he also competed both arms in the 185. That's the one I'm not 100% sure on, but I'm pretty sure he silvered in at least one arm for the 185. Do you remember?
I don't remember like exactly what his placement was. But yeah, I just know that he beat Ricky.
Yeah. That's a big one for sure.
It was huge. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he took second in one of the arms, I believe. And I believe it was something weird too. I think he actually took second on the right arm, and possibly third or something on the left. The 185 was pretty stacked, and at least the top guys that day, maybe they were just for that class, maybe they were stronger on the left. Maybe most of them were left dominant pullers. Because yeah, I would definitely think if he took silver in one of them, it would be left, but I'm pretty sure it was just right. So we've got Lorenzo Munoz in the house. What's up, Lorenzo? We've got Todd Calazo in the house saying, good evening, gentlemen. Josh, you got to have your son on the show for a few seconds. Uh-oh, we lost your audio.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Let me see. I'll go try to go get him right now real quick.
Okay. Lorenzo, I'll shoot you the link. Okay. So yeah, that was a really, really good event. It was a pleasure meeting Saray Brown and his girlfriend. Saray, I actually sent the link. He's just not very active on social media, so hopefully he gets that message and he pops in. His girlfriend, she was awesome. We all hung out a while, and I only got her name once, and it always takes two times for me. I want to say Jocelyn, but yeah, Saray comes on, you can remind me. But top-notch people from Colorado. I really enjoyed his super match with Tony Tomlinson. Congrats to Tony for taking the win on both arms for his super matches. Other super matches, we had Ronnie Vega versus Jake Collins, and the match pretty much every round went to the straps. There was a couple close ones where Jake did take the hand and got pretty close to the pin line, but didn't quite get the pin. And Ronnie took it where he was comfortable in the straps. So yeah, Josh, so far I've covered Tony and Saray. I've covered Ronnie and Jake. Jake had one other match with Russell Stark. What'd you think about that match?
That match went, I mean, I love Jake. He's one of the North reps, the up and coming guys and stuff. But that match went how I thought it would. Russell, from what I've seen of him, the short time that I've been in the sport, he's very good with the hand. He's very strong in the hand, and it means a lot. And so I didn't expect the crazy side pressure hit that he did, but I mean, it was impressive. It was a complete, it was a blowout. It was a dismantle of Jake in a very respectful way. I mean, they have all the respect for each other, and Russell, thought it was really cool of Jake to try to, see where his level was at. But I think Jake knows he has, some work to do, and that motivates us and makes us all better. So, yeah, I thought it was a good one.
For sure. And were you able to get your son over here?
Come say hi. Come on, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Don't be shy.
There he is. Hey, what's happening, man? Did you just wake up? What?
You notice anything different?
He got a haircut.
Man, he cut it all off when I was at the Kraken.
Oh, did he?
Back. Yeah, I came back and his hair was like this. Boom.
So you come back in and you're like, who's in my house?
Yeah, who is this guy? You remember Kane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you still training? You still working hard?
Yeah.
Right on, man.
Who do you want to arm wrestle? You have anybody on your list?
Huh?
You have anybody on your list? Who do you want to arm wrestle?
There's no kids that I know.
I know.
Only that kid that went to Mike's.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's true. That event the get together that we did at Mike McGraw's a little while back. This lady had randomly came there, and I guess that she had seen, some of our stuff and different stuff, and they knew about Evan, and she's like a UFC fighter, and her son was like Evan's age, right? But she brought him, and it was the one time that Evan was like, "Can I stay with my friend and play games?" And so that kid was sitting up there by himself. But there is a kid up there that's around his age that wants to get into arm wrestling. So, more and more, I think they'll trickle in.
Absolutely. Yeah. River Welch says, "What's up to Evan?"
Yeah, he's gone that fast. He's gone.
Yeah.
He's totally camera shy. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. But yeah, like I had a blast hanging out with your son in person. He's just a ball of energy. But sometimes the camera does that,
Yeah. Yeah, I know. If they could get a taste of what he really is, shoot, he's 121 questions, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. What would happen if this person and this person had a match? What do you think?
Yeah, he can. It trips me out sometimes, like how good of a memory he has just from watching. But he watches the videos like all the time, as well. But different videos, like he goes and searches them on his own. Like he knows a lot more about Schoolboy than I do. Stuff like that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't need to worry about finding any kids to arm wrestle. He'll smoke them all anyways, for the most part, anybody his age. Yeah,
we were at at the California State in January, when Jaden was there and he had that super match. He went right over there with Evan, and Evan was like he was really in awe with him. He thought he was like the coolest dude ever, and he was one of the first people that he asked for his autograph. Was Jaden. So awesome. I think Jaden thought that was pretty cool.
Heck yeah. Yeah, Jaden's a superstar for sure.
Yeah.
He's
definitely. He told Evan they started the same age.
Really?
Yeah, wow. I mean, relative. I mean, I think Jaden started at 10, but Evan, starting around 8, 7.5, 8. Yeah, it's right around the same thing.
Yeah, Lorenzo, who's also a hairdresser or a barber. He said that Evan's looking fresh. So big compliments from the man himself. Lorenzo gives the bomb cuts. He's really good. So we
I
got
know.
Todd.
I seen him giving Derek's grandmother a cut when we came down for practice. I thought that was like super cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So we got Todd coming in here. Todd, we just need your video.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
Let's see. For me, usually it's on the bottom left. Mine has a little symbol that says stop video with a line through it, and you just click on that and it'll activate it. I just sent you a little invite to start your video. Sir.
Oh, okay, I got you.
There we are.
Oh, what's up, brother?
Hey, dude, your son is way better looking than you are.
You ain't
What a
lying,
great
bro.
kid.
You ain't lying.
Hey,
You
he's
ain't
got
lying.
a future.
Yeah,
It's
you
just
ain't
like my
lying,
kids,
bro.
man. All my kids are better looking than me. It's my wife. She saved their
Hey.
lives.
Period.
Sure.
Period.
Oh, man. Dude. I was laying on the couch, man. I'm so tired from work today.
Yeah.
But so you invited me. I'm like, oh, dude, I got to put a hat on. What's going on?
Heck yeah. Well, tired from work is good. It must mean work's good.
It's okay.
Okay.
It's
all right.
okay. You know, economy's not too good. So we're just trying to pull out all the stops to get as much done as we can. So, but I'm positive, we're optimistic. So just got to work hard and find creative ways to get people to buy what you're selling, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
So, but yeah, man, how you guys doing?
I'm
Good.
Yeah.
Enjoyed the last weekend. Can't wait for the next one. Yeah, like I just can't get enough of it. I was
Yeah,
bummed
I
I
wish-
didn't see you guys
I-
there. Yeah.
I wish, well, see, so I think Kane was confused. We weren't set to go to that one. We're set to the one that the registration hasn't opened up yet for the end of November. That's the one. They have one for the end of November. They have a youth category. So I'm going to, hopefully, if everything works out, enter Elijah in the 13 to 15-year-olds and put them in the amateur adults 154s. I think they have a 154 category. So he's got to drop about 5 pounds. So I'm
You
going to have
said-
him do both.
You said the end of November?
I think it's at the end of November. I think.
Where
We're not talking
where's
the
I
that?
world-
have, it's in
the World
San Diego.
Series? Yeah, the World Series of Arm Wrestling, right?
Is
No,
that what it
that's-
is? No, it's
That's
not that.
That's the
They're
beginning.
doing
of
another
November.
event. I believe the Kraken's doing another event.
Yeah, the World Series of Arm Wrestling is November 5th.
Yeah,
No,
the
no.
beginning of November, and that's
Yeah.
the finals that you had to qualify for.
Yeah, no, that's not it. No,
Okay.
that's not it. I'll show you. I have the link. I went to it.
Yeah.
Registration is not open yet.
It must
I'm
be
just-
the Pull Hook Press.
Yeah, that
Yes,
sounds right.
that's what it is.
Yeah,
The press. That's what it is.
yeah.
Nice.
You know, I'm just trying to get him a little bit of experience there. I don't know what I'm doing with these tournaments. Which ones are more prominent? What has the best showings? I have no idea. I don't expect the showing for the 13 to 15 to be something phenomenal. That's why I'm putting him into the amateurs in the 154. He just has to lose about 5 pounds. That's nothing. I'll just start him for a couple of days.
Right.
Well, I would think that this thing coming up that Brandon Allen's doing on the 14th, I would think that
I saw
has
that.
the potential. It has the potential to have one of the bigger classes that we've seen for the youth in a while, and that's because he has the tournament going along with the carnival. So I think that you're going to have the opportunity of plenty of kids are like, oh, cool, I want to go try that. So
Yeah.
I think there might be some cool classes there.
Yeah, that might. Okay. So see, that's what I need you guys for, man. You got to give me all that experience and bring it to my house so I can know what kind of decisions I need to make.
Yep.
For sure.
We'll both be there for sure. There's carnival games. Costumes are encouraged as long as you can.
The costume tournament. Yeah. So like the person
your
with the best
costume.
costume gets a prize. Yeah.
Very
and,
cool.
Mechanical
Yeah.
bull. It's going to be a mechanical bull.
Yeah.
It's in
Nice.
Victorville,
house
so not too far from us, and the high desert's always pretty cool.
Yeah. No, that's 35 minutes.
Yeah, man.
Really cool.
Perfect.
Oh yeah, I'll send you the flyer for that. We've also got Yeah, what's up?
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I saw it on Facebook. I saw the
Okay.
ad. But yeah, but send it to me anyway.
Yeah,
All right.
you seen that Mega Mike is pulling Jordan
Yes,
Seal. Yeah,
I
so
saw
I mean
that.
Jordan Seal's coming out. That's a big deal too.
That's cool. It's
Yeah,
huge, man. That's
yeah,
huge. Yeah, the
and
practice at Orange County, it was really good on Sunday. But it was a bit depleted because everybody that pulled on Saturday pretty much wasn't there. But for that being said, it wasn't a bad turnout, man. It was a good practice. Elijah got to pull a lot. You know, he skipped practice the week before. I took him to get some therapy. You guys probably seen that on Friday. He had a bunch of knots, man. And you know how when you're knots and you're locked up, it just saps your strength. He felt
mhm.
really good on Sunday. He felt really good. So that's like for anybody that doesn't do any kind of therapy or get rolled out or have like upper body compression or do anything like that. People should really look into that kind of stuff because neurologically and the nerves and the balls in your bodies and being able to roll out that releases your body to access another 5 to 10% strength that you might think, hey man, I'm not really strong, but you're locked up. And that's in any sport. I used to do it for my son Anthony when he played baseball all the time, and it used to free him up so he can perform a lot better. And Elijah had the same experience this past weekend.
Yeah,
So I don't know how many guys in arm wrestling actually do that, but it's something to look into for sure.
I
Okay.
agree. Yeah, when I wrestled, I did acupuncture, quite a
Excellent.
few times. So
Yep.
yeah,
Yep. For
it
sure.
really helped. Yeah.
What's up, Pablo Ochoa in the chat? Good to see you here, man. Haven't seen you in a little bit. So
Yeah.
Todd, for the therapy that Elijah's doing, can you be more specific in terms of like, are we talking deep tissue? You said compression, like what kind of physical therapy is it?
So if anybody's ever seen those apparatuses that they put your body in, you can do upper body, lower body. They fit you into these like balloon type apparatuses that they blow up and it squeezes your body, and then it releases slightly, and then it squeezes and releases, and so you get this blood flowing and then being released and flow. So it's that whole healing thing, right? We talk about in arm wrestling how we do the bands, right? When you're like hurting a little bit, you don't stop working out, but maybe you do stuff real light to get that blood flow for that healing. Same thing, but a lot quicker.
Right.
And then yes, deep tissue scraping, right? Getting all the knots and balls out wherever the pain's at, shoulders, chest, back, and then there's cupping, right? So you can really target those sore areas where it's like you just need the release. So if anybody noticed Elijah at the practice, yes, he's got short sleeves on, but you can see on the lower part of his bicep the cupping, red circle that you see when somebody gets cupping. Well, he had it on one side, like 3 or 4 cups on one side of his arm in certain spots, and on the other arm in other spots to target the troubled areas. And he was so released after that on Sunday, I mean, he was 100%, not 90 or 85. And so all the workouts that he's been doing, really, we got to see, hey, is it working? We've really been working on hand and pronation a lot. I'm incorporating it like 3 times a week, infused with all the other workouts that he's doing, and we're really focusing on that hand big time. And sure enough, man, that's what really showcased for him at practice on Sunday. So it's all about targeting the weaker areas, seeing how practice goes, getting tutelage from people like you, Kane, when you're there. Ricky was instrumental, big time. He came home super excited because Ricky unlocked something for him. And Josh and Kane, how it is when, I'm using my bicep and my hand, and you incorporate your shoulder, then you incorporate your chest, then you incorporate your back, and getting all those muscle groups incorporated into that either the hook or top or whatever. And Ricky really, really worked with him well on Sunday. So the kid came back super, super pumped, man. So every week it's just more excitement for him, which excites me. But yeah, we target it, man. We're learning a lot. We're watching videos. We're learning from you guys and all the pros at the club. And we just keep targeting. Oh yeah, let's do that. Let's target on this for the next 3 weeks and get stronger. And let's see if anybody notices, hey, wow, that feels a lot different, Elijah. So we're targeting every little angle, every little spot that we can target, and the learning is just continues to go up and up and up. It's cool.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man.
It's been a little while since I've practiced with Elijah, so if he's there Sunday, I should be there. It'll be a good chance to see where he's at, because I'm sure he's making gains. And sometimes when you pull with each other every week, it's hard to fully see the extent of those gains. But it's been at least a month, I think, since Elijah and I have gripped up. So, and
yeah, it's funny. I'm sorry. Let me say this. It's funny because I've been talking to him about, hey, we're getting to that point, buddy, that, you're doing good. But we're getting to that point where I probably want you to take a little time off, maybe 4 or 5 days. You can do bands and stuff, but just kind of rest your body. And then we go back at it, because he has only one motor, and I got to almost back him off a little bit because I don't want him to get hurt. He's only 14. So he's sick right now.
Oh boy.
He's sick. So we might not be there on Sunday, but he told me, well, Dad, you wanted me to take a week off. And I'm like, well, just rest up, man. Your body's good. You're fine. He's okay. Nothing's detrimental. Nothing's bad. He's just sick normally, like we get sick from time to time. But yeah, he's in bed right now resting and stuff. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I hope he gets better.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with a little bit of rest, especially when you're doing what he's doing, and that's table time every week. He gets it 2 times a week, it seems like sometimes, and he's doing max lifts as well each week, right? Yeah, that's a lot.
Well, and just to let everybody know, because I know when I post like the PRs and then other things he's doing, but that's not what we're doing. His workouts last about an hour and 45 minutes on average, maybe 2 hours if we're slowing down with certain exercises that we're trying for the first time every day. So the whole workout is not like that. But if he's feeling good and he's on his second set feeling good, he's like, Dad, I want to try a PR. I'll let him do it most of the time if I'm watching him and seeing that, okay, he's all right. And those are the things I post because I'm trying. I'm excited. And I'm trying to excite other people, not only just adults, but also some youth, like saying, wow, that's crazy. Oh, look at that. That's really cool. That's interesting. Maybe I want to try it. That's kind of why I'm doing it. And then also, it's almost like a marketing thing, look at this kid, look at this kid, look at this kid. And in 4 or 5 years, hopefully he's doing something pretty cool, so we'll see. Maybe 10 years. I don't know. So
he's on the right track, plugging away. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Saray just got back to me. I think he's gonna hop in. Yeah, and Ricky, still, like, for me, after 4 years, is it more now? That I've been in the sport, I still, every time I ask a little table time with him, I'm always learning something new from him.
He's smart.
Very smart, and I like his perspective on arm wrestling. So it's really good. And I also want to ask a lot of people that are at a little bit of a higher level about some of their therapy methods, what they do, because a lot of what you're saying makes sense to me. And I do like the nerve gliding and stuff like that. And of course, volume and blood flow stuff. In terms of like massages and deep tissue, I've only had one source of a high level puller talking about that, and that's Derek Smith. And for him personally, he puts it out there, like on his YouTube channel and stuff, that it was a bad experience for him doing deep tissue specifically on his inner elbow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think the way the story went was he was having a lot of inner elbow pain for a while. He'd been in the sport a few years or something, and he went to a deep tissue massage therapist and said, just get in there. Like the knots were like very noticeable, and they went in there and, you know, worked that shit out until it was like soft tissue again, you know. And for him afterwards, he felt he was weaker. I don't know if there could have been other other circumstances going on, but he's of the belief that at least in that specific area that we try and condition, the inner elbow, that developing that scar tissue is a good thing. But you know, it's something I still want to ask a lot of different people, you know, what their take is on that. I would definitely assume that on the athletic portions, that you're using the opposing muscles, maybe areas in the shoulder or the brachialis and stuff like that. Yeah. Especially when it's more muscle related, you know. The inner elbow is such a there's a lot going on in there. You've got nerves, you've got your ulnar nerve right there. You've got your it's a lot of tendon, you know. If you really feel where the pain is, often you can maybe sometimes find your pronator, but that's a little higher up, I believe. But that little pit where a lot of people get pain, I get it on the right all the time. Does, you know, I think it's more than a muscle thing. So that might be.
Yeah, you're right. So here's the difference. Well, I take them to the recovery lab. The recovery lab is a few locations. I've been using them for years, ever since Anthony was like 13. He's 18 now. So I take Elijah there now, and they're sports specific. They work on everything from wrestlers to boxers, baseball players, football players, high school, college, and professional, like the Major League Baseball, NFL. I've seen these guys walk in and out. So they're certified. So like, for instance, in baseball, you have all that elbow stuff. They know what to touch, how to touch it, how not to touch it. And that's why I trust these guys. I've been working with them for years, and they do magic. So they know exactly what to do. So I think sports specific. So like when I went in there, Elijah's been there twice the last 6 weeks or eight weeks. And I tell him, I'm like, look, this is the sport he's in. Here's what they do. I show him videos. He looks at it. He's like, oh yeah, they're very similar to baseball. I can see what's going on as far like for pitchers and stuff like that. Here's what I want done. Here's what I need to happen. Here's the result that I want. They're like, no problem. We'll work them out for 30 minutes. The last session was 45 minutes, a little longer. And so that's what you want. You want an athletic atmosphere and a place where they work on athletes from all different sports, volleyball, you know what I mean? Just everything. They're smart. It's not super, super expensive. It's not like a half hour it's like $65. Okay. You know what I mean? So it's not like breaking the bank. You know what I mean? An hour is like $110. They do a $100 special if you want an hour. I try to stay away from the hour. I'm not trying to throw $100 on that. I know kid's 14. He should recuperate. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, sure, man. But yeah, it's you know, it's affordable. Right now in this time, it's difficult, but I mean, you can do it. You know what I mean? And with my kids, you know, I'll do what I have to do to make sure that they're able to perform.
Right. Yeah, the sports specific definitely speaks to me. You know, volumes more than I guess going to see a regular masseuse or even a physical therapist. You know, being a normal physical therapist that might work at your doctor's office or through your insurance or whatever. Yeah, it's so broad in the types of people and things that they're dealing with. I did have to see a physical therapist once for a wrist thing. I kind of like jumped into the sport a little bit too quick. I think 2 months in, I competed in San Diego in the open class, and it was open weight class. too.
Oh,
It was a crazy Travis Bajent tournament where you start at your lowest weight class and they revolve between the super heavyweights and the lightweights. And as you win, you advance towards the middle like this.
oh wow, that's
So
crazy.
eventually, yeah, whoever it is meets. And yeah, the 2 or 3 pullers in, I ended up just way in over my head. But yeah, the physical therapist I was dealing with for that was definitely no help. And a lot of the stuff that, you know, he was wanting me to do seemed like it was hurting me more. But granted, the other mistake that I made was I don't even think I got treatment or an MRI till like over a year later. I was just stupid and stubborn about it. So Paul Stevens says, I think this is in regards to my story about Derek, that he must have gotten a bad deep tissue massage therapist. I get one maybe once every couple of months, along with copying and scraping, and I always feel amazing.
Yep.
Okay. Now we've got the man from Colorado, Saray Brown, is in the house. What's up, Saray?
What's going on, Kane? How you doing, boss?
Pretty good, man. Good to see you in here.
Good to see you as well.
So you hopped in right into the middle of therapy discussion, you know, recovery for arm wrestling, and maybe a little more sports specific. Is there anything like that you do between massage therapy, cupping, scraping, any of that stuff?
Nothing major. I use sleeves, like the copper band tension sleeves. So like when I pull practice wise, I'll pull with them on the entire time, and I'll take them off when practice is over. Just a lot of blood gets trapped in the arms. No fatigue at all. The next day I feel perfectly fine. I actually was, remiss that I didn't bring them to this tournament and just put them on afterwards, because my shoulders and arms were trash the next day.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, that's pretty much it. I haven't had anything crazy. When I was competing back in the day, it definitely was a lot of cupping, a lot of scraping, that kind of stuff. It's great. But I'm not nowhere in that competitive level yet, so I haven't seen the need for it outside of the compression sleeves. So
Okay.
You know what's fun? You know what's funny? And those compression sleeves are great. Is that when Elijah was working out the previous week, he's stronger on the right side. Okay. But when we were working out, we had a couple of days where his right arm was actually weaker. He's like, Dad, is my left arm getting strong? I'm like, no, look, you got knots. And I grabbed him by the shoulder and I'm like, look at that one, that one, that one, that one. And I was kind of rubbing him out and putting pressure and having him rotate his arm. And because I've watched some chiropractors, you know what I mean? And I've seen how they've done it. And then strength kind of like returned a little bit. I'm like, you need to get scraped and get those knots out and whatnot. And then when we did that, then, back to normal. So, yeah, but those compression sleeves are really good.
Nice.
Really good.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. Yeah, Paul Stevens went on to say, in agreement with you, Todd, he says, same, his guy is a sports massage therapist. He trains everybody from bodybuilding to MMA and, anything sports specific. So he agrees with you that a sports specific therapist is the way to go. Yeah, like I don't know if it's because I'm not using enough muscle activation, but a lot of times the trouble I have in terms of like injury or recovery, I think, I mean, it might be some tendon stuff, but I think a lot of it is nervous system. I feel like my nervous system gets extremely inflamed and weird stuff goes on for a few days after going a little bit too heavy. Yeah, I remember at one competition, the mistake I made after was doing those electrode things afterwards. But I didn't realize at first that what it was that I was experiencing was nerve pain, and those electrode things just like activated all of it. But my I would just sit there and my hand was doing this, I couldn't stop it. And then it got worse until like my fingertips were wanting to smack my forearm. It was like so violent, like, because my wrist doesn't do that, but it was like practically touching my forearm. And it got so bad that it felt like my whole arm was chasing me. I had to go run and like dunk it in hot water. It was like doing all kinds of weird stuff. But
have you ever drank coffee afterwards? So a lot of their, after you're pulling. So a lot of my buddies that they'll get like the rib cramps. A lot of the bigger guys that pull, they'll get the rib cramps and stuff, and you're firing on your CNS the whole time.
Right.
And you don't have lactic buildup until you get fatigued. But the caffeine is a release. So
really,
after we get done pulling, if we're super sore, super exhausted up until I started using the sleeves, we just drink coffee. And that seemed to be enough to, because, it increases your blood, your blood pressure goes up from the caffeine, blood circulates faster. It calms down the CNS and creates more lactic acid. So then you start flooding your muscles with blood. So maybe try coffee, and your fast metabolism, so it probably hits you a lot faster.
Wow, that's crazy. I've never heard of that before. That's just another excuse for me to drink more coffee. It's not that I really work out, but I'm not giving the 14-year-old coffee right now. He's already bouncing off the walls.
That actually probably calm him down.
Yeah. Maybe you're right. That's hilarious.
Yeah, man. He's got that fast young recovery too.
Oh, he's crazy. I every day, Kane, every day after the work, how do you feel? I have him on creatine. We talked about this before.
Right.
Creatine helps you to recover a lot faster. Very careful with it. Make sure he's hydrated. But every day, I know he's going to be sore today. I know it, and this idiot, he's really sore. He's rarely sore. Hey, I feel a little bit. How do you feel? Oh, I feel fine. No, idiot. I'm talking about how do you feel physically? Like, is anything hurting? You did a PR today and a couple of exercises. You really got a good workout last night. How do you feel? It's like, you're not sore? Not really. Oh man, I wish I can go back.
Yep.
I wish I can go back, man.
Yeah, it always it intrigues me, the whole subject matter of older arm wrestlers versus younger arm wrestlers, and there's a lot of pros and cons set on both ends of that spectrum. A lot of people say you can be an older arm wrestler and do really well, and my theory is you take two arm wrestlers, right? You take an 18-year-old and you take a 55-year-old arm wrestler, and it's day one. Almost every time, of course, it depends on the person, but the majority of those cases, I think the 55-year-old is going to be very dominant. However, if both of those athletes continue to train, say 2 years, they train regularly, the 18-year-old, there's a very good possibility is going to smack down that 55-year-old.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of a working theory, but usually the day one, I think the older folks come in pretty strong. They've been using their hands a lot longer and working and doing all that stuff, but we still gotta fight with that bad recovery, the slower recovery time. There's a few things working against the older arm wrestler.
Few things.
Yeah, you see it really quick with a lot of the younger arm wrestlers that come in, like, shoot, a few months in, you're like, holy crap,
Yeah.
From their day one, it's just sometimes a night and day difference.
Yep.
So we have the channel, which is, I guess, also called Armwrestling Showcase, says, I find that icing elbow for 1 to 2 days throughout the day after practice, also volume of low weight on all vectors, 50 plus reps heats him up.
Yeah, there's that blood rush and in and out again.
Yeah.
That blood, man.
Does that mean we have a troll account?
I think we have a troll account. We must.
That's awesome.
Have you
I love
ever
the
guys?
name, though.
Have you guys ever also tried contrast showers? Or
I have no idea what
Yeah.
that is.
You mean going like hot to cold, hot to cold?
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
That stuff, again, I know it more from my son Anthony from baseball. That stuff works. Again, it's the blood flow. Pumping the blood in with the heat, pumping it out with the cold. 1 minute cold, 3 minutes hot. Three sets. You know, if you could tolerate doing something like that in the shower, you could also do that with, like, you know, big bowls of water and sticking the elbow in a bowl of ice, and then going into something that's as hot as you can take it. You don't want to injure yourself or burn yourself, but really hot for a minute each time and rotate like that. And that's really, really good therapy as well.
For the shower one, what would you consider a set? Like 10 minutes?
So no. 3 minutes warm, hot. Not scalding hot, but just hot.
Okay.
And then 1 minute, 1 minute cold. And then 3 minutes hot, 1 minute cold, 3 minutes hot, 1 minute cold. That's it.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Really good stuff, man. Just healing.
Learning so much on this episode. We've also got Rodell Escalara in the house saying, "What's up, fellas? What's up, Rodell? Good to see you here." And Josh, you had a pretty nasty injury, it looked like, when you were down there in San Diego. It almost looked like you took like a fastball to the inner bicep, something like that. But that was just from polling. Oh, I think you're muted.
Fuck, I keep doing that. I'm sorry. It was from that new machine that I put together.
Oh, the Bowflex deal.
Yeah, so like I put a Bowflex with like a bunch of resistance bands pulling it up, adding like as much extra pressure as possible, and like just the amount of pressure that it takes to put your elbow down on the pad and hold it down, not including trying to take it sideways, is intense. So Benny was having me train with that, and we were doing like 4 sets of 6. And I'm like slamming it to the table, and it takes like everything I have. Well, yeah, I guess the inside of the bicep didn't like it too much, so it seemed that it probably tore a little bit,
A little bit,
or
yeah,
stretched, whatever you want to call it. Yeah,
thing was black and blue.
but that's, hey, it gets stronger after it gets broken, right? So
Yeah,
beat it down and tear it up.
I'm anticipating coming back stronger, so I'll take that as as the rule. I didn't know that it was that. I didn't know that's why you weren't competing.
Yeah. So because of that, I was just down there to support Casey and Rodell, and then obviously all of our brothers in arms as well, but rode down there with them.
What's up, Benjimac? Hopping in here saying hello, moderating for us. Saray, do you have a YouTube channel by any chance?
I do. It's the Devil's Backbone Pullers. I commented on our last, but yeah, it's Devil's Backbone Pullers.
Yeah, Benji, if you can pull that up and pop that in the chat for everyone so they can go check out Saray's YouTube channel, that would be awesome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, and Saray, and yeah, it was such a pleasure getting to know you, and the match with Tony. Now that kind of the dust is settled and everything, how do you feel about everything and how it went down?
Oh man, it was the ref's fault. Like I didn't get. Simply put, I was outclassed. I didn't. At no point did I say I was going to go in there and smash Tony or anything. It was more of a, test myself against somebody who had initially invited me into the sport, like I had covered on the last cast.
Right.
And just wanted to see where I was at. Like I said, I beat everybody in around me locally. So it was all right. Well, how far can I start chomping at the bit to attack those guys in the top 50 or whatever? And being that I knew Tony and we had, awesome interaction, some of his guys who he trained with before moving to California were guys that I started training with here. It just seemed like a natural, like, hey, you know, are you interested in pulling? And he took the match. He left a pretty good post today on one of my Facebook posts, just saying, you know, don't get it twisted. This wasn't me being generous. Saray is an up and comer, and he wanted to see where I was at as well. So just as much as I wanted it, he wanted to see where, you know, if he was just going to run through me and put up more of a fight than I think he thought I had, and missed the go on a couple of opportunities. And we'll definitely run it back. I would say a year, maybe 2. Let me get my strength up. I think that the technique is there, but it's knowing where I am body position wise. So I, you know, definitely learning to grow. But yeah, no, it was awesome. It was a great opportunity.
Cool. Yeah,
That's
great.
awesome.
Yeah, you and Jake both. A lot of respect for both you guys for just taking the opportunity to test yourselves and see where you're at. It's important. Like there's a lot of, I mean, pride does have a big part to do in the sport with a lot of people. Unfortunately, so much so that they only want to, you know, take matches with people they are 100% confident they're going to beat, or maybe not even compete in a tournament. But yeah, I mean, it's such an important factor to get better, to target that person that you think you are like the extreme underdog in. And you might win, but like, yeah, afterwards, at least it makes you better. You can do the math. You get a real perspective on you know, where things are. And because you're
You know, yeah.
the man in Colorado, right, Saray? Like, is anybody beating you in Colorado right now?
Not as of yet. We have Colorado State on October 14th. I feel pretty confident there. We have guys coming from all over the place, except for Brandon Allen, that dude trolling me today. That was pretty funny. Yeah, so no, we have quite a few guys coming from Utah and stuff. We're gonna have a couple of super matches going on there. Also, Kenny Weaver's taking on Dilly. Tim Talmadge is pulling Eric Wolf, and my boy Taylor Palmer is pulling Edo Muslik. So we've got a couple of super matches on that Saturday before the tournament. Expect a big turnout. And then we'll see, you know, I plan on taking first, but you know, I don't count the chickens before they hatch. So we'll see who shows up, and it'll be definitely a dogfight regardless. I think that the crazy part about the Kraken tournament was, you know, going back, the only person that I really lost to at the end there was still Tony. I had no intention to pull on the tournament, and Dave opened it up for everybody in case anybody wanted to enter late. And so I jumped in there and wound up taking second place, both left and right arm. So after Tony putting the whipping on me to step back in there, and he'd be the only person that beats me in the finals there. I did have one loss to Sergio. But outside of that, like, I felt strong, even though I felt weak. So looking forward to pulling Colorado's tournament, and, you know, looking forward to pulling those guys again too out there. Dave sent me a message that at the end of November, they have another tournament coming up and another strongman competition. So doing the curls after that, I don't know if you guys stuck around, but that was pretty fun. Tony and I were doing the ugly strict curl competition there with Dave.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a dope competition. I plan on taking Colorado. That's what I'm, you know, start working out again tomorrow, leading up until next Thursday, and then we'll go from there. So, and that'll be on YouTube also.
Right on. Yeah. That was that I found that interesting, because it was pretty much everybody that competed in the tournament that did that. Like, right after the tournament trashed, they just went for it. I had to bounce for some family stuff. Yeah, Malia's grandparents, it was their first time meeting our baby Odette and stuff like that. So
you are a lucky man that your baby she's absolutely beautiful. So it was awesome to meet your family and meet her dad also. We just, you know, quick handshake and nice to meet you kind of thing. So that was super awesome. And it's hilarious watching all these bumbling arm wrestlers like Wade out of the way as she's moving around with the baby. So it was awesome to see that too.
Yeah, she was rocking that Alpha Empire onesie, man.
That's super dope.
Yeah. So
hey, back to the Kraken thing before we pass that up. I wanted to say the one thing that I noticed, right, that Saray and Jake both had in common is that Jake came from Chicago, Saray came from Colorado. They both came and tried to have a match in California. Don't do that again. Cali is where it's at.
Hey, I'll be back. Let me tell you, Josh, I appreciate that. I'll be back again.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
I know.
I'll be back there to hit up your what is it, Armfest Sunday practices, and like for me, traveling is awesome. I love gripping up, and I feel like I want to take the Devin Laird approach where you absorb as much as you can from everybody you pull. So I welcome the rejection, but I'll see you there.
No, it's an invitation. That's all it is. Yeah.
Yes. Love it. Yeah, Saray, I know you're doing something, I believe, on the 14th, just like Brandon. I won't be able to make it out to Colorado for that one. We're going to be keeping it local. It's my birthday, and just going to be doing some stuff out here. But I don't know if
I
Todd, if you were tuning in when we had Saray on the last show, but yeah, he was talking about this.
It was kind of in and out.
Okay, he was talking about this insane large event he wants to do out on his property out there. He's just got a lot of acreage, and yeah, just a massive like central location for everybody, you know, in the country to be able to come and have like a really good training camp, basically. Yeah.
It's seeing if people are interested in getting that going. Like, you know, like I said before, if you build it, they'll come, kind of feel the dreams aspect. But yeah, that's the idea is, you know, put something up where everybody can come to, and we'll set it up in the middle of the summer. Nobody wants to be in Wyoming, you know, any other time. Even in the summer, it's still shitty. So, but yeah, no, it's something that I'm trying to get going.
We could ride horses and arm wrestle. I mean, like, that's like the best day ever. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like, fucking.
I'm not
Hey,
putting
that'd be a cool new sport, bro. It's like arm wrestling polo. On the horse.
another way.
I'm curious what that would look like for sure. Yeah.
I mean, the way stuff is going now, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the next big thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And the part that stood out to me was the potential tent camping that you brought up. Because I mean, that's especially if you're going to do something or you're trying to draw people from other states and all around the country. It's the training camp aspect of it that definitely interests me the most, so that people aren't coming to that location just for like one afternoon of training. You know, they can go for like a few days or whatever, and get a really, really fulfilling week, few days or whatever, you know, is available to improve. I think that would be really cool.
No, it's in process. So as soon as I have a little more information on when we can, you know, set it up, I'll definitely jump on here and say this is the day.
Very cool.
Mr. Ray, have you ever thought about, you know, the people that are not, like, they don't make it on your team, like calling them the Devil's Rejects?
Nobody gets rejected per se. They just don't compete in the tournaments under the banner.
Okay. All right.
You know, like this. That way, for me, it's if we have people to occupy the weight when we roll through, that's all I want. I don't care. Like there's no tryouts for the team. There's nothing like that. And when what I want to do, another thing that I've been trying to get going is body tournaments, which is Battle of the Yard. So Colorado doesn't have a lot of teams, and our local area, Wyoming, has 5 pullers. Montana has, 15, 20 pullers or whatever. But Battle of the Yard would be like a super series type deal where it's a one-on-one team versus team. They show up, I say body Battle of the Yard because you throw the table in the backyard or whatever, and you have your super matches. Each weight class for that team, runs it, female, male, whatever. And if you set it up as a winner take all, then if you have like a $50, $25 per arm buy-in, the money goes back to the team who won. And if you're the team who's visiting gets that money back, it offsets the cost. Something like that, but to keep everybody more active, because Colorado doesn't have a lot of tournaments. This tournament coming up on the 14th will be the second tournament. And we have to travel obviously like Wyoming is super close, but we travel to Wyoming to compete. Some of our guys go up to Montana or South Dakota, wherever it's closest, we'll compete. And I'm lucky enough to be able to travel. So, I mean, I go to Texas, New Mexico, Illinois. It doesn't matter, California, but not all the guys get to do that. So, trying to think of something without having to find venues and get refs booked and all that good stuff, just to have a head ref, down ref, and then like have two teams come together. And I don't even mind being in the position of hosting two teams, like one coming from New Mexico and pulling the Wyoming guys or whatever. It's just a neat idea. Call it BOTY, which is Battle of the Yard, BOTY. But anyways, it's something that we're working on also.
Amazing.
Very cool. Yeah, that's awesome.
We've got Riv Slug in here saying he's excited for October 28th. You gonna make it, Kane? Would love to practice pull with you. Is that the challenge match event, Josh? October 20th. Yeah. Is that Fresno?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah,
Fresno. Yeah, we have like 5 teams coming.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have some challenge matches, and we want to start doing it, to make, I mean, you guys are kind of just like talking about the same type of thing, but yeah, we want to start doing it to where like people can, make some bets and stuff. I mean, literally, that's what I thought Arm Bet was when I first found it. Was like, cool, I get to go bet people for money and see if I could beat them. But that's not what it was. But yeah, it's cool. But
Yeah, man.
But I think it makes it a little bit of exciting. And then you got some people that are nipping at certain people's heels and they want to see where they're at, or you have somebody that might want to, make a little side bet and do their thing, and somebody that wants to put their ranking up or whatever it is. Just to, I don't know, keep the flow, man. The dead time is what bothers me. It's like when there's dead time in between, I'm like biting my nails and I'm like, all right, where's the next place I can go? Because I can only travel like 1,000 miles right now. I can't go to the East Coast yet. So I got to pick and choose what I can do. Yeah.
Well, it's definitely been getting busy in California lately, and I'm liking it. Nice and refreshing since all that COVID lockdown stuff and everything. Everyone's just arm wrestling on YouTube or whatever. We got Tommy Delphin in the house saying what's up. Tommy Delphin had a really good performance at the Kraken in the amateurs. Tommy, did you also pull the open class for 150? No? Okay.
No, Tommy. What are you talking about?
Is Tommy? Yeah, am I thinking of a different Tommy?
Yeah, no, Tommy's from Bakersfield.
Okay, we have one down here too. Really tall, skinny guy that was competing in I just didn't know his last name.
His name is Tommy Delphin too?
Oh, Tommy something. I just don't know his last name. But yeah, whoever that was, he did really good. So, well, good to see you, Tommy Delphin, from Bakersfield. Tommy,
you had me tripping out right now. I was like, did I really miss somebody that was there?
Yeah, your boy was there the whole time, killing it, man.
Terrible.
We got Stephanie Spencer in the house. What's up, Stephanie? And and Benjimac did share Saray's YouTube channel, The Devil's Backbone. Everybody go check that out. Let's see here. So yeah, also Josh, you are, it looks like we'll have Stephanie popping in here. Josh, you actually were putting together a training camp for kids, right?
Yeah, something along those lines. Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Got to find kids. We got to find the kids, and we got to find their parents like Todd that are willing to take their kids. because everybody doesn't have it in their backyard, and regardless if we want to admit it or not, somebody's going to have to travel. You know, like no matter what, like everybody's going to have to go travel to do something where it's going to be at any scale that's worth anything. So finding a neutral spot, finding somewhere that, you know, we can get some kids from all over the state involved and trying to trickle out. Yeah. But at first we're going to do it at the camp that I was talking to you about. My nephew is part of a camp, and they want us to do like, it's just a 2-week camp, a summer camp type thing. And so arm wrestling would be one of the modules, I guess, that would be at the place.
Is the thing with the school still happening?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And so that's like a really good thing. I'm actually in the process of getting back doing schooling right now and getting some other credentials. That way I can generally work for the school and become like kind of a coach, right, at the school. That way it kind of all like ties in together. That way I'm not just like a special guest that can come once in a while. Right.
Okay. It would be official. Absolutely.
Right. If I'm a physical education coach, just like they have wrestling classes or tennis classes or golf or all these different options that you offer, it would obviously just be arm wrestling. And I think I explained it to you before, but the school that my son attends, it's one school for the district. So like the school is the district. There's no other schools in the district. And so because of that, you don't have to go to like 6 different places to talk to the, you know, head of the board. Right.
So cool.
Josh, let me ask you a question real quick. I remember we were talking a little while ago in Canada, that thing with Devin, is that still something he's working on? Have you heard anything?
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't heard anything new as far as like a date. But from what he said when we met and we were talking about it, it would be like June of 24. So yeah, obviously sometime in the summer, because obviously Canada, you know, does have really cold winters, and, you know, I think it wants to be kind of acclimated to everybody for the most part.
I'm trying to reserve my vacation for that time. When you told me, I already purposed in my mind, let me go ahead and make sure I save my vacation just for that.
Wow.
And
yeah, I'll reach out to him and see if I can get a definitive answer for sure.
For sure. Absolutely. Yep.
What is this that you guys are referring to?
So Devin had did a seminar in Modesto here in California a while back. And while he was here, he was talking about doing a training camp at his house, or, you know, at some property up there in Canada, where it would be like a couple-week thing, and people could come and bunk and get like professional training, you know, that he wants to do moving forward, kind of how like boxing would do. Like you'd have like your 6 or 8 week training camp for a match, or UFC or any other sports, you know, they have their training camp. And arm wrestling really doesn't. I mean, we're kind of individual, which is cool too, but he thinks that that's like a good idea, which I do too. And yeah, it sounds like it's something that he's really going to get involved in and start doing for the community.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's badass, man. Devin really is like a bigger ambassador than, you know, some of the trolls out there and everything. They're like, oh, this dude just ego and this and that. But I mean, the dude, like, he loves arm wrestling so much that, you know, he'll take a nick on his armor just to make somebody else look good. You know what I mean? And a lot of people won't do that. But
yeah, there needs to be something
it's a cool thing
here in the West somehow to develop these young kids. Now, every time you step into a field of athletics at a young age doesn't mean you're going to become something super, like a Superman. Doesn't mean that. But if you have something that's available to a bunch of young kids. You're going to get the cream of the crop that's going to rise, make the sport more popular. And like we were talking about, to be able to eventually deal with the Europeans and all those guys in the East. You know, they've got camps, man. You see it on YouTube. It's crazy. 6 and 7 and 8-year-olds. I mean, they're just doing stuff that my body starts getting sore just watching on the couch, you know, and we don't really have that. So I try to bring that atmosphere into our garage as me and my son get down. Naturally, it's him doing it, but I'm there to support him, and we just have a really, really good time. So, you know, that I take everything that you guys teach us. Derek has given us great advice. We use some of his workout techniques. We watch everything on YouTube we can get our hands on, and we just make it so that it works for him. And we continue to grow and learn, try new things. So, but we need that community that they have out there in the East, man. And we're so far away from that at the young level. That's really the game changer. That's why I'm so interested to go to Canada. Like, I'll do that for my son. Like, we'll make that happen. Whatever we got to do, we'll make it happen. All within God.
Likewise.
But, you know, that's something that we got to make happen, you know, and see what happens from there.
Well,
yeah, I already, you know, told him when he had said that. I was like, it doesn't matter, like, what day, dude. You just, you know, say that it's official, and that's it, you know.
Yep.
Because I mean, I don't know. Have you met Devin yet?
I've not met Devin. No.
When I first met him, we're all standing out behind this warehouse type building or whatever, and guys are having beers out there, like all the legend arm benders, all these guys, everything like that. Devin walks out of the back of the door, and when he comes out, he don't say all his friends are out there, all these people. He don't say nothing to nobody, man. He looks right over at Evan, and he goes, "Oh, finally somebody that's big enough to arm wrestle with." And he walks over and asks Evan if he could take a picture with him, right? So Evan's like shitting bricks, like, "Whoa, what? You want a picture?" Like, "Yeah," you know. And dude, he's just super cool dude, man. Super cool. He's just so welcoming to everybody, and yeah, he's not trying to hold no information. He wants that same thing. He wants us over here in North America, like as a continent, to, you know, look as crazy as them other guys do on the other side of the sea. Because you're right. I mean, they do have a training camp that it makes, you know, what we do over here look, you know, pitiful. And their athletes are just, from the time they're, you know, raised, they're held to a standard and put on a pedestal as an athlete, and you know, they know nothing but work. So
that's right. Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I'm jumping as soon as that happens, or something like that happens. I'm jumping. That's why when Saray was talking about doing his thing over there, same thing. You know, yeah. I'm jumping. If we're all going out to camp and arm wrestle, let's go. What do we say, Saray? Burning arm.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We'll make a big arm structure and burn it. Woo! That'd be amazing.
That sounds good to me.
So with the kids, with the future of the sport, what do you guys think? Let's just say figuratively, you know, Josh, you were talking about like looking for a 2-week training camp here in California for kids. And one of the struggles naturally is finding enough kids to be interested in doing something like that. What are you guys' thoughts in terms of, you know, how to get the kids, how to reach them, and also like what happens first? You know, is this something where we got to create the event and put it together, make something that's attractive, and
it's the schools. The schools is the number
first. You know,
schools is the number one thing. Like we've all been saying, like from the beginning. I mean, you get it in the school, and then you have those soccer moms and dads who are packing up their ice chest and bringing snacks for the team, like going, and you have little teams that are competing against each other. The mini manhandlers versus this team and that team, and every school has their little team. I mean, that's literally the way, well, okay, so that's the way I think that it makes it mainstream for the world, right? That's the way I think that arm wrestling like really gets on the map if it's in the schools as one of, you know, like the sports. For kids arm wrestling alone, I think that like what Brandon's doing and stuff where you're offering carnivals and different things where kids are going to be at anyway, that's like the best way at least to get kids in the area. Because all you have to do is get kids together and they want to compete. Like whether they're competing about what they're wearing or what they're this or who could eat more or who can jump higher or whatever it is, they want to compete. So all you got to do is get them around it. And, you know, I think then, you know, you'll get some kids involved. I like what Brandon's doing. I like having the whole mix where, you know, people can bring their toddlers out. He's having the bounce houses everywhere for everybody. The carnival, there's going to be tons of different food vendors. I mean, that's where you're going to have families come. And that's also what, you know, needs to be done to make arm wrestling accepted is the families more be put on the forefront, letting women and children and everybody know that this is a sport for everybody. It's not just like brutal, burly men that are like, you know, going ham on each other, that it can be a sport that's used with finesse and grace, you know, so.
Exactly. Hey, you know, I'm glad you brought this up. So what's the name of that tournament that I'm looking to put Elijah in again?
Oh, you're talking about the pull hook press.
Pull hook press. Okay, pull hook press. So we talked about the access for youth to have tournaments. They don't really have many. But I've seen that flyer. I've seen the flyer. And you got the women's class and the men's class and the 50 plus class and the pro class amateur, right? That's what you have on the flyer. But I don't see anything on the youth in that flyer. I see nothing. You have to go to the link, you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and you see 12 and under, you see 13 to 15, and you see 16 to 18. That's what you see. You don't see it on the flyer. How the heck are people supposed to know? You have to be in the know in order to know. This is not right. It should be on the flyer. Youth divisions, click on link to find more detail. Something like that, at least, if you don't have enough space on the flyer. But there should be something promoting it. The only reason I found out about it is because there was a new gentleman who brought his young kid. He's 16 years old, strong young man. And he brought him, and he told me about it. And he knew about it before I did. You got to put it on the flyer, man. It doesn't look. Oh, well, it doesn't. We don't really get good showings. So what? At least you give yourself a fighting chance if it's on the flyer so people can see it. That's what the flyer is for. It's called promotion, marketing. Why isn't it on the flyer?
So I'll jump in and say this. There are tournaments in both Idaho and Utah that they're focused around kids. So as opposed to it being like it's Cody Merritt headlines them, and it's with Call to Arms. So it's not under Cody's Spur arm wrestling banner. It's under Call to Arms banner, but they do them in sporting event centers that host kid competitions. So like, for instance, the kids are either doing jiu-jitsu, they're doing karate, they're doing powerlifting, they're doing whatever. So it's focused around the kids, and then they add the parents into it as well. So they, you know, all the adverts are kids win this, blah, blah, blah. I agree that for me, kids definitely need to be in the sport. They're the future of the sport. We need to, as parents, be the ambassador. So my son, he also competes. He'll be 14 in October. He'll be competing at this tournament here at Colorado State. Every tournament we go to, we try and make sure that there's kids allowed to compete. But I think that there needs to be an incentive for kids to compete. And we can, as parents, we can pull together and throw $15 at whatever, and it could be a mini scholarship to offset them going to whatever training camp. So like if the Devin Larratt thing pops off, or if I can make the Wyoming State deal happen, where it obviously costs money to put these events together, but if the kids can come there for 3 days for free or whatever it is, like that's incentive for them to train. The other side to it is we have a lot of guys that practice with us that are jiu-jitsu practitioners. We as the ambassadors need to go to these gyms and invite them to come and practice with us. The tendon strength training that you get from arm wrestling translates over to jiu-jitsu, prevents you from getting injuries. you can put yourself in a compromised position longer before that tendon breaks or takes on more damage. So it translates well, and it's an easier selling point. So, I agree 100%. We need to have way more kid-oriented tournaments. And even if we have them on a Sunday as opposed to a Saturday, make it a weekend arm wrestling deal, I think we as parents would travel twice or book our hotel stay a little bit longer, or, something to allow the kids, because no kid wants to sit there and watch their dad or mom compete and then they don't get to do it.
Exactly.
Hey
So,
guys,
That's such a good point.
hello.
Oh, there she is. Hey, Stephanie.
I got my iPad set up in the car because I'm starting to DoorDash, but I do have a few things to say about this subject.
Yeah,
If you don't
please.
mind listening. Okay, so Sienna is just turning 12. So far, she has traveled with me to Wisconsin.
Wait, can you turn your camera up so we could see you?
I don't know how it's on my iPad. I'm like
Okay.
driving.
Yeah,
in
there
the
you
car.
are.
So she's been to Wisconsin, Georgia, Texas, and all over with me. And the best tournament that I brought her to was in Wisconsin, and it was like a special needs kids one, and there were so many kids there. She was in the bouncy house, like jumping around, and then they would call her to stage. Like there were so many kids that like I'd never seen so many kids at a tournament, even little tiny ones. Like some kid I think just barely got out of diapers, and they had a bunch of stuff for the kids, and then they had a bunch of special needs kids there. There were so many Downs kids that got on the table and pulled, and they had a really good time, and they raised a bunch of money for them. And I think that if you guys are talking about the kids, you should focus on not only just the boys, the girls, everybody. Like,
Absolutely.
everybody. That bouncy house made a big difference. Somebody there doing things. A bunch of different booths there too, like some old ladies selling their crochets and stuff. But I don't know if anybody actually made very much money having a booth there, but I know that they made a bunch of money for those special needs kids.
Very cool.
you
Yeah,
think it's
that's
amazing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, kid.
well, that's just one of the things that seems to be standing out the most for me in this conversation is that subliminal aspect. It is a niche sport, and it's hard. It's easy to get kids or really anybody to arm wrestle for the most part when actually given the opportunity up close and personal. But to get them there in the first place to do something like that, it's a different story. It's very hard. But when you offer these incentives like the bounce house, what Brandon Allen's doing with those carnival games, like Josh says, and just attacking things into an event that we know kids like or that people like.
So Kyle was talking about going to some of the high schools and starting teams. And I know that at Xana's school that all the kids are arm wrestling on the tables at lunch. And that if they had a table or somebody there to teach them, you would already have a team at the school. Of the elementary school kids. So I don't know why Kyle never filed up on that, but somebody needs to. Like if you guys want the kids to get involved, put together teams at the school, because how much fun is that? Every kid, as soon as the kids see the table, they're all excited to get up there. They want to do it,
The only thing I'll say to that is we've got a couple of wrestling coaches, not arm wrestling coaches, but actual wrestling coaches that do work in the school. And it's hard to get the schools to buy into allowing those sports to take place because they themselves have the misconception that it's a bunch of guys just, smacking each other on a table.
Oh, no.
Here it's clubs.
Xana already told all of her friends because she's traveled a lot, and I think that the school is pretty open to it. I just don't have anybody who's a coach or who could do it. And I'm not. I need to go to practice to learn from everybody else. There's no way I'm going to go in there and be able to teach some kids.
For sure. I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't take that responsibility. I'm just saying in the sense of making it a club event as opposed to.
If there was someone in San Diego who wanted to do it, I would go to the school with them. If we have anybody who would volunteer to do that.
For sure.
And we would already automatically have at least 10 kids, at least, just to start.
Yeah.
So I don't know if is that what the conversation was about, or was it just about having tournaments, or was it about
it was a general conversation on how do we help, how do we grow? I think the premise is how do we get young people involved because of the future of the sport? So then it would be, you know, everything else is just kind of a spin-off of that. Like, how do we get this to happen? How do we energize kids to do it? How do we get schools to come on board? Or like, what are brainstorming different ideas how to make that happen? In Colorado, it's a little bit different than I would guess. If you have traction in San Diego or on the West Coast, you might have better luck in getting the schools behind you. Here, nobody wants to take on that liability. So we're just trying to go about it in a different way, because we agree 100%. And it's not exclusive to boys. My daughter also competes, the same thing. She's traveled with me to every tournament that they've allowed kids to pull in. They have gone with my girlfriend's kids as well. So we make it a family event when we can. And when we can't, we scramble to get family involved to take care of the midgets while we're out, you know, fulfilling our young selves with the competition. But I am going to jump off myself. Super, super appreciative of you inviting me on to chat about it. I'm looking forward to the next one. I'll jump on anytime. My buddy and I are going to start podcasting as well. So I appreciate you giving our channel a shout out, and I don't mind collabing with you or Josh at any time. And it was good meeting you, Todd, and good to see you again, Stephanie.
Yes.
I'm gonna peace out. You guys have a good evening.
Very
You
good.
too, my friend.
Great. Thanks for coming by.
Yes, sir.
We got Jaden Knight Sr. In the house saying quite bluntly, if they made tournaments affordable, more people would enter. What do you guys think about that?
I don't have a lot of experience. We haven't been to a tournament. I see the $25, $30, $40 an arm. I'll be honest. It just depends what resources you have. I'm used to travel ball, baseball. My son Anthony's played since 8 years old, played all the way through high school varsity. The expenses for that is way, way higher.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're talking about $80, $100 for a tournament, and those are just the small tournaments. Then traveling out of state, hotel, food. You know, to me, the arm wrestling is free practices. I'm like, holy smokes, I don't have to pay a monthly fee. I'm like, Elijah, you're a genius. This is great. So you know, I mean, look, everybody's got overhead. So to throw these tournaments, there's a cost, right? And you know, I don't know what the profits are. I don't know who's making what. I don't care personally. I just want my son to be involved and be active. I don't know if it's too expensive, but then again, it's just perspective. It's where you're coming from, right? I'm not rich or anything, but I mean, you know, I can afford $80 to go left and right. No big deal. You know what I mean? So it just depends. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think the sport itself needs to be loved by people, but it needs to be accessible, like we've talked about before. And just the knowing that there's something available out there. I can get into this tournament. I can go to that team and practice, just to understand that and have that knowledge to step forward and take a try. Because man, like Kane, I've told you this before. I've got the bug, and I don't even arm wrestle. Like I'll get on the table once in a while, bro. But I'm so old and everything hurts, so I can't do it every week. But it's fun. So just watching Elijah, it's just very exhilarating for me. And I think other parents would get that experience, but first they need the experience. And they need to know what's available to them. So that's really look, man, it's a marketing thing. It's a marketing thing. The people have to know. I wouldn't be opposed to freaking printing out flyers and putting them on cars and on people's doors. Like seriously. Alpha Empire, Orange County Arm Wrestling, you know what I mean? Yeah. Crack it. Just get it around in the neighborhoods, man. You know what I mean? All ages welcome. We encourage come out. Training, you know, the training is, you know, A+, and no one's going to get hurt. We're going to make sure everything is safety is a priority, you know, whatever. Something very, you know, something to market and put it out there for people just to know, you know, and work your way up from there. But I don't know. We're throwing a bunch of ideas against the wall, but I don't think it's too expensive from what I've seen. But again, I'm young to this sport, just like my son, and I'm getting to know what's going on. Maybe the expenses are when you have to travel and just hotels and all this stuff, and maybe the prizes don't accommodate those costs. I get that. But like in baseball, again, for my son Anthony, we weren't looking to make anything. We were just supporting him and making it a memory for him, you know, as we did it as a family. So as from the perspective of the youth, that's why I do it. You know, I don't have any pipe dreams. I'm not looking to compete or anything. I just love being around you guys, you know, but I don't know if it's too expensive. From my perspective, it's not. I understand. You got to make money, man. You got to have money to support the program. So,
right.
Who buys the tickets? Who gets the chalk?
Yeah. We're talking two different dynamics too. And you mentioned training practices, Alpha Empire, and the practices like with our team, you know, that's where the real beauty is, I think, coming into the sport for the first time. If you come to one of our practices for the first time, it's very family oriented, a lot of nice people, and you really get a very pure idea of everything good about the sport. And you're coming in kind of more cared for. You feel safer. People are taking care of you and all that stuff. Trying to make sure that pride is not happening, especially towards the new people. But you know, tournaments are a different monster. I agree with you, Jaden, in a certain respect. So I don't know, like it's kind of niche, and we definitely got to be grateful for any promoters or anybody that puts on a tournament in a sport this niche. But the one thing that we do know is that the bulk of the competitors typically are going to be men, you know, whether you put a price on it or not. It's kind of been a thing that's followed this sport. And I don't mind there being a charge for that. I definitely love it when promoters offer free for the women. I love it when they offer, if they can offer free for the kids. I think it's an extra incentive for, you know, maybe the wives that have been supporting their husbands or boyfriends or whatever that have not tried it to go ahead and go for it. It's free. Why not? You know, try it. Maybe if there'd be enough that they could actually do, you know, an amateur class for the women, and an open class, and kids too. You could just probably get everyone bringing their kids to compete just because it would be free to do it. And I think it's almost more important when we're talking about those two groups, because those are the things I think that takes the sport out of the niche realm.
Yeah.
You really get attract the kids and the women. You're really opening, I think, the sport up from something that's I don't know, just misunderstood. It's very small and misunderstood.
Yeah.
He did say he's spending up to $200 a tournament. Yeah, that's what I spent for this last one. For his family to pull, plus hotels, etc. if we travel.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
For no prize money, he says, $10 an arm. You will get a bunch of random people off the street. That's a good point. You got a good point there.
Profits by margin. I mean, profits by volume.
Volume, right? Yeah. Most tournaments I sit out because I can't afford to pull. Yeah, this last one, the Kraken, I hadn't competed in like a tournament outside of a super match format since January, because the baby and all that stuff. And so I wanted to go big. It was, you know, both arms, 2 classes, and it's not cheap. I mean, for me, it was worth it. I had an amazing time, but I definitely get your point, Jaden, about that. You can definitely attract more people that are looking to do it for the first time if it's pretty cheap. Stephanie, you did really, really good at that tournament.
I was really surprised.
You killed it. And you know, I had to bail like halfway through that the curl competition. How did you do in that? How did that work out?
Oh, my opener was too low, and Dave's like, don't you want to go higher? And I thought 90 would be a good number, but then when I got to my third one, I tried the 135, and I knew I could have did more, but he only let me have 3 attempts. And then Camille obviously took the medal. And I wasn't like I was trying to complain, because I was like, God, Camille always gets everything. And Dave's like, well, what did you get? You got 2 medals and a sword. And I was like,
Yeah. Those swords were cool. He was giving out swords and like javelins or something like that. It's like there's all kinds of cool stuff at that. And even the medals were like this big.
I know.
Josh and I were talking about Christian Zepeda's performance, which is freaking amazing. And he's like he's not a large guy, man. When they were,
did he smash Ricky? Did I see that?
He did pin Ricky. But yeah, when it came to handing out medals, nobody was sporting as much bling as Christian. And those medals were so damn big, I thought he was gonna tip over, like fall over forward, you know.
Yeah.
But the curl competition, that's Camille's jam, right? She does really.
It's mine too. I did so many overloads with prep for like 2 competitions ago that I messed up part of my bicep and my forearm on my right side, and that's already my bad side where I have my arm wrestling injury. So I can't even train like I wanted to. So I had to, like, all of the strict curls I went in with no, the only training I did was just my powerlifting, like just did my regular powerlifting, and then I would show up and do the competition. So once I get healed up, I can give her a little bit more competition.
Nice.
I know, because she has the record. And it was like, I felt like we were neck and neck. And then it was like, oh, she beat me. It was so close.
We need to get you and Camille in here for a Female Friday sometime. Camille. Yeah, you both are really fun to talk to.
She's so nice.
She is, right?
She looks wild with her mohawk, but when you talk to her, she's just so nice.
Yeah. That was definitely surprising.
That's the first time you met her?
The first time, that we actually talked was at that deal in the Valley. That Scott Wynn's buddy threw.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. I have to tell you, I am never gonna forget all the guys lining up to pull me and Camille, and you're sitting there on the guitar, and the music you're adding in the background was just like, I was like matching what was going to happen next on the table. And I would love to do that again. I wish I had a little film of you and you're like tapping your foot, and then the guy is going to get beat down by the girls. I think that's the feeling the music.
Yeah, that was fun. Doing a little soundtracking to the action. Yeah, I think when Tony came up, I was doing that. What was it? Like,
hold on a second.
Toro or something. Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah,
dude, you're super talented, man.
Oh,
every once in a while, I'll be on YouTube, and something else of yours from the past will pop up, and I can't help it. I got to click on it. This guy is really good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Oh no, I swear. When can we do that again? When can you sit there with the guitar and like give us that? Like, I mean, maybe it was like a once in a lifetime thing that we got to enjoy that energy because it was just so cool.
Oh man. Yeah.
And then Tony always wants to get on the microphone and sing his songs.
That guy can sing. He can like really sing.
And I sold my voice to the Sea Witch, so I don't have any karaoke going.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I need to bring one maybe to like the Arm Fest or something one day, like a big practice.
That would be so fun. Yeah.
Definitely.
What happened to Josh? He's a part-timer. What?
Yeah. Where are you at, Josh?
This guy.
All right, you guys. Well, we have been on for a little while, like an hour and 45 minutes, almost 2 hours. So yeah, just thank you everybody in the chat for popping in here. Thank you, Todd.
My bad.
There he is. Yeah, I think we're about
Terrible.
to
You're
wrap up.
fired.
Is there
I
anything?
heard everything you guys were saying. It was a good conversation for sure.
He was
just-
sleeping.
Yeah, what happened?
That's exactly.
You doing DoorDash too?
Yeah.
No,
No.
I had to change my mom real quick, so I had to turn off the video and stuff. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
you're
man.
good.
No problem.
All right, man. Well, I'm checking out. I guess you're going to close down, right, Kane?
Yeah, I think we'll call it a night. And a pleasure having you on, Stephanie.
Yeah,
when-
thanks for having me.
Yeah. Have fun at work tonight, and drive safely. No podcasting with it. Who
I
would
know.
want a podcast when you're working? All right, y'all. Have a really great night. Thank